Good morning. Welcome to day 32 of Quantum's Liberty. Today on the phone, I have Susan, who is in middle school, and her parents work in critical care. Hey guys, go. Good morning, buddies. See them, sweetheart? So, Susan is going to be tapping along with us today, and she wanted to address immune boosting and COVID-19 health because she sees her parents working in critical care to save a lot of people and also are losing a lot of people. And so we talked about tapping on a little bit of fear related to how dangerous COVID-19 is, and that we know from recent research that we can actually really, the nice thing about it is that we can control it in some ways. In some ways, it's not controllable with whose lives it takes. And so Susan wanted to do our immune boosting tapping on that, including the importance of wearing a mask, keeping socially distant, 6 feet apart at least, and washing your hands because the virus is lipid soluble. So we can break that down with, singing happy birthday twice and washing your hands. So, so I thought for immune boosting tapping today, we're going to tap on this point right here, and that is the karate chop point or the side of the hand point. And what this does is that when it's called the psychological reversal point. So if you're afraid, Susan, if you hear things, that your parents are talking about, what they see and what they hear and experience in critical care while working with these very sick people of all ages, you can tap on this, and it's a psychological reversal point according to um, literature and science. And what it does is it blocks the neurons from sending too many firing signals to the amygdala, where our fight-flight response is, and that will help to reduce the oxygen flow from the legs and the arms to run from the saber-toothed tiger to instead the oxygen will go to the prefrontal cortex, where you can think about the next best right thing to do, and also it will keep your heart rate from speeding up and being in such intense fear listening to this. So I think that we'll talk through a tapping meditation. The tapping will boost the immune system. The data shows it reduces cortisol levels in 1 week of tapping and meditation for 10 minutes and every day for a week. The cortisol levels will drop by 37%, and the immunoglobulin levels will increase by 113%. And that does not mean that you don't wear a mask and you don't have to socially distance 6 feet apart. We do have to do those things, and we do have to wash hands and be careful. Because we know 3 things about the virus. 1, don't give it. 2, don't get it. And 3, it's airborne. And it's very dangerous. So let's tap for immune boosting so we can. I'm having trouble breathing. It's very smoky from the fires here in California. So let's tap about that. All right. So let's start with imagining ourselves in perfect radiant health. We'll stop tapping for a moment and take a deep breath in and deep breath out, and imagine yourself in perfect, beautiful, radiant health. mind, body, and spirit. And when you see that image, I want you to focus first. We're going to do 3 rounds of tapping. And first one is going to be about any blockages you have to being that image. Like, you know, the visions that your parents are talking about, what they're seeing. And so I want you to, you know, sense where in your body you are finding any tension. Maybe it's like tension between your shoulders, or maybe tension in your tummy or in your brain. But just focus on what number that tension is. And Susan has a little bit in her leg, but so now number that, and then what I can hear her. So Susan is going to be repeating after me the setup statement and also the round of tapping. So there will be a pause in that space while I listen to her repeat. But what I want you to do is to tap along and also repeat the statements along with Susan. Be the echo voice for what I say. So tap and do, and let's try to boost our immune systems. Okay, so the setup statement is putting the problem in an area, you know, over here, and then following it with, I deeply and completely love and accept myself exactly as I am. And so the we're saying is that we love ourselves even though the problem exists. And so we're holding all of ourselves, our shadows, our light, everything together in one place. And just by tapping on the image, right, by tapping on the obstruction to having that perfect radiant health, we can release some of that fear and not have it guide us, but instead come into a place of calm where we can do the right thing, like wearing a mask and socially distance and washing hands. Okay, so even though we'll start off, we're going to do 3 rounds. The first round will be tapping on the blockages. The second round and the third round will be about being that person, being that radiant health. And that doesn't mean not wearing a mask and not washing hands. It means continue to do those things because there is a pandemic. Okay? All right. So even though I have fear from hearing these stories about COVID-19, I deeply and completely love, accept myself. Even though I have fear of these images in my mind, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have these images in my mind of bad health, I deeply and completely love and accept myself exactly as I am. Inner eye, these images, outer eye, this fear of these images under the eye, this fear of the images I think of under the nose, this fear of the images of not radiant health. Chin, this fear of the images of not having radiant health. Collarbone, this fear of any images of not having radiant health. Under the arm, this fear of any things I've heard about not having radiant health. Top of the head, this fear of all of those scary images. Inside the eye, I deserve to have radiant health. Outer eye, I deserve to have radiant, wonderful health. Under the eye, I can be that radiant person. Under the nose, I can have this beautiful health. The chin, I can have balance in my life. Collarbone, I can accept this joy in my life. Under the arm, I deserve this beautiful joy. Top of the head, I deserve radiant health. Inner eye, I am that person. Outer eye, I walk as that person. Under the eye, I talk as that radiant person. Under the nose, I perceive as that radiant health. Chin, I believe as that radiant health. Collarbone, I am that radiantly healthy person. Under the arm, I am that radiantly healthy person. Top of the head, I am that radiant person in perfect health of mind, body, and spirit. Deep breath in and deep breath out. And hopefully your number came down a little bit. You can do that 10 minutes every day. Love you.